Hey folks, happy Thursday to you. Thursday, January 28th, our FUMC CV Pastor's Devotional. We continue today. And today we're in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11. So turn over Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11. As you do so, I'll just remind you that you can get the prayer devotionals that for February, the prayer calendar, through the pathway in the mail on our website, fumccv.org. Also, we release the scriptures every morning on Facebook about 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And so invite you to join us in those ways and find the devotional. Today, one of the verses that I have found the most meaningful to me in the last few years of my life. Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 through 30. Let's read that together. Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 through 30. These are Jesus' words. Come to me, all that are weary and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Now the first verse, 28, come to me all that are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. That's the verse that's had such meaning for me over the last few years as I've gone through some of my own challenges, and certainly during those times have felt weary and heavy laden. Just that promise and that scripture just kept coming back to me time and time and time again, that there is someone there for even people like me when we are weary and heavy laden, and that there is rest. And that one verse has carried so much meaning for me over the last 4 years of my life. But I want to show you something, because what most people hear in this is they read verse 28. So they have this image of someone who is weary and heavy laden, and that person makes it to Jesus, and the image that they have in their minds is that person takes off whatever they're carrying and they put it upon Jesus. And that way now Jesus is carrying their heavy load and they have lightened their load. Right? That's what that's how we imagine this is going to happen. I mean, that makes sense for us, right? Like, you're carrying a bunch of groceries, you're weary, you're heavy laden, and you give some to someone else and you're lighter now. They are carrying a portion of your burden, but that's not actually what the scripture says. Read it again. Take my yoke upon you. So Jesus says, take my yoke upon you. So you're weary, you're heavy laden, you show up before Jesus, and he puts more stuff on you, is what this passage says. He says, take what's on me and put it on you. Have you seen that before when you read this passage? Is that what you think of in terms of Jesus lightening your load? That you're going to show up and he's going to put more, he's going to put his stuff on you? And then it goes on, and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest in your souls, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. What does that mean? I've got more than I can handle, and I'm going to go to Jesus, and he's going to give me what he has. He's going to give me more. He says that his burden, that he is gentle and humble in heart, that his yoke is easy and his burden is light. Well, let's think about what that could mean. What if we go to Jesus and we get a spirit of what he puts upon us as grace or mercy or compassion because we've been beating ourselves up about something? Well, that's going to give rest to our souls, right? What if we go to Jesus and what we say is, I just can't do it anymore, God. I cannot take this life by myself. I cannot manage it by myself. And the yoke that he puts on us is a yoke of salvation that says you don't have to. You don't have to. You give that to God. You give your life to God. That's the yoke. Or what if it's about this sort of rat race of having to, promote in life and climb the ladder and have more than the neighbor and judge yourself against everyone else who you see and the kind of cars they drive and what they gift their kids during the holidays? And what if, rather than that, what we do is we put a yoke on of Jesus that measures us not from the outside, but from the inside? That would get rest to our souls. And so while we often might think of what we're carrying as heavy, that we want to take it off, what Jesus is actually saying is, I need to give something to you, right? So it's not that we get to offload all that stuff in life, but he's going to give us a different perspective, a different faith, a different way of viewing it, a different way of understanding it, a different way of seeing other people, a different way of judging ourselves, that's what his yoke is. And if we can manage to make it to him, and we place that yoke upon our necks, we will find rest for our souls. I don't know about you, but the way that reads actually seems so much better to me than the way that I read it for years and years, and that is that I'm just going to offload some of my junk onto Jesus. That he's going to give me something that's going to change my life, not just a momentary situation where it seems a little bit easier. Change, transform my life completely. For he is gentle and humble in heart, and carrying him with us is going to bring rest to our souls. I don't know about you, but amidst the world in which we live right now, a pandemic and still political unrest and racial unrest, I think we need some rest for our souls. Maybe we find it right here, Matthew 11:28 through 30. I hope this has been helpful for you. God bless.